Hyperbole. In this section, we are going to show you how to draw a hyperbole. Please note that a hyperbole is not the same as a parabola. Look at the picture. Look at the graph on the left. This graph is called a parabola. This graph touches the x-axis at 0 and also touches the y-axis at 0. Look at the graph on the right. This graph is called a hyperbole. This graph does not touch the x-axis and it does not touch the y-axis. We say it is asymptotic to the axis. The x-axis and the y-axis divide the Cartesian plane into 4 sections. Each of these sections is called a quadrant. From this corner to this other corner, we have the first quadrant. Look at the following graphs. In the graph of y is equal to 4 over x, if this graph is positive here, then the graph will lie in the first and third quadrants. Look at the picture. Let's have a look at the graph of y is equal to negative 4 over x. If this graph is negative here, then the graph will lie in the second and fourth quadrants. Look at the picture. Let's have a look at the following example. In this example, we want to sketch the graph of y is equal to 6 over x. Let us quickly draw up a table of values. Look at the table. Let us make a table of values starting with negative 3 and ending with positive 3. Our table should look like this. In the place of x, put negative 3 in order to find the value of y when x is equal to negative 3. Look at the calculation. So far we have y is equal to 6 over negative 3. Look at this part. 6 divided by negative 3, it's equal to negative 2. This means y is equal to negative 2. Write negative 2 in the second row here. Let us do the same for the other x values. Put each x value excluding 0 in the equation y is equal to 6 over x. Our completed table should look like this.
Phoenix, why did you exclude 0? What are we going to write in this shaded block?
You ask a very good question. Let us put x is equal to 0 in the equation, y is equal to 6 over x, and let's see what happens. If we put 0 in the equation, y is equal to 6 over x, we will have y is equal to 6 over 0. We cannot divide by 0. Take your calculator and work out 6 divided by 0. Your calculator should say error or math error or show the letter E on the display. Division by 0 has no meaning. So y is undefined. In the shaded block, we are going to write undefined. Now look at the table. Let us draw a Cartesian plane with x values from negative 3 to positive 3 and the y values from negative 6 to positive 6. Look at the Cartesian plane. Look at the table again. This point, which is x is equal to negative 3 and y is equal to negative 2. On a Cartesian plane, let us look for a point where x is equal to negative 3 and y is equal to negative 2 meet. X is equal to negative 3 is here. Y is equal to negative 2 is here. They meet here. Let us put a dot where they meet. Look at the table again. Look at this point, which is negative 2, negative 3. At this point, x is equal to negative 2 and y is equal to negative 3. On our Cartesian plane, let us look for a point where x is equal to negative 2 meets with y is equal to negative 3. X is equal to negative 2 is here. Y is equal to negative 3 is here. They meet here. Let us put a dot where they meet. Let us find a place where x is equal to minus 1 and y is equal to negative 6 meet. And we put a dot. Let us do the same for other points. Ignore x is equal to 0. I will explain later why we exclude x is equal to 0. So far, our dotted Cartesian plane should look like this. Now that we have plotted the dots, let us join the dots to have a graph of y is equal to 6 over x. Our graph should look like this. Look at this equation. This equation has a positive sign, which confirms that this graph will lie in the first and third quadrants. Look at the graph. You will see that the graph does not touch the x-axis and it does not touch the y-axis.
Phoenix, please explain why the graph does not touch the y-axis.
Okay, let us remove the graph. Look at this equation. If we want to calculate the y-intercept, then we must make x 0, because x is equal to 0 on the y-axis. So far we have y is equal to 6 over 0. Look at the equation. Y is equal to 6 over 0. We cannot divide by 0. So, 6 divided by 0 is undefined. This means this graph does not touch the y-axis. We say the y-axis is an asymptote.
Now explain why it does not touch the x-axis.
That is very easy. Look at the equation again. Because we are looking for x, let us make y to be equal to 0. So far we have 0 is equal to 6 over x. Look at the equation. 0 is equal to 6 over x. This equation is a fraction. Let us multiply both sides of the equation by the denominator, which is x. So far we have 0 multiplied by x. It's equal to 6 over x multiplied by x. Remember, what you do to the left-hand side, you must also do to the right-hand side. Look at the left-hand side. 0 multiplied by x, it's equal to 0. So we have 0 on the left-hand side. Look at the right-hand side. 6 over x multiplied by x will give us 6. This is true because the x's cancel out. So far we have 0 is equal to 6.
But Phoenix, 0 cannot be equal to 6. Something is not right here.
Yes, Digit, 0 is not equal to 6. In maths, we write it like this. The fact that we got 0 being equal to 6 means the graph does not have an x-intercept. We were looking for x, so we made y to be equal to 0. For some strange reason, we ended up with x disappearing. Look at the graph again. Look at the graph of y is equal to 6 over x. The graph of y is equal to 6 over x does not have the y-intercept, and it does not have the x-intercept. We call the x-axis and the y-axis the asymptotes in this case.
Tell us quickly, what is an asymptote?
An asymptote is simply a line where the graph approaches but it does not touch. The graph approaches the y-axis but it doesn't touch it. Similarly, it approaches the x-axis but it doesn't touch it. Now that you have worked with hyperbole, let us see if you can try this activity.
The first one has been done for you.